Great to see you here. We are recording only a half of a show this week because the second half gets recorded on Friday on location at Busch Gardens. So,
Hmm.
hey, EB, are you cool with doing like if I toss to you from Busch Gardens to do the close of the show at the
Yeah, I
end?
can do the whole thing.
Okay, cool. So we will do
So,
that.
are you at Busch Gardens? I was trying to ask you. Are you
Oh,
at Busch Gardens, like pretending that?
I think this time, just so that we can do this part of the show, is to I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Because it's going to be weird if we set it where I'm talking to you, talking to you, talking to you, and then you're disappeared. So I was thinking what we would do this time is like, but tell me if you think we should do it the other way. Um, do the show and then say magical, like the second half of the show is from Busch Gardens. I don't know, or we could just pretend I'm here the whole time, even though the live look-in audience here is going to know it's completely fake.
Well, you could record it. I mean, you can be in the second half of the show and say, "And here's what I recorded at the park," and take it away, me.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. In fact, what I was thinking is you could, or I could just pick it up at for the second half of the show right out of the break at Busch Gardens. Like, hey,
Okay,
I'm here. Here's the interviews. Here's the on ride thing, and then toss it back to you for the close.
all right.
So it's like basically we say like, hey, at the second half of the show, you know, it's at we're doing it from Busch Gardens just like that. So we don't say that it is you know
Yeah, if you
all
can do
one
the whole,
show.
if you can do the whole thing,
Yeah, I think I could do the whole thing
okay.
because I'll do a ride review. I'll do ride the ride. I'll do the interviews and kind of connect it all, and then it'll just be 20 minutes of content from there.
Do you want to bump the mailbag, or do you want to move it? We've got a
Um,
lot.
do you want to save it till next week because we'll probably
All
need
right,
some stuff for that Memorial Day show. You
boom,
want to just do that, and then that
done.
way it'll just be this part will be a quick and easy at the top, and then quick and easy at the bottom.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, because I think we'll need a little stuff for that Memorial Day show. All right, so if you are ready, I am
Mhm.
ready. I just sent all the join us stuff, so we should be good to go. All right, here we go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the original theme park podcast. You are listening to Coaster Radio. My name is Mike. I'm here with my friend EB, and we are ready to talk theme parks and thrill rides.
That's right, Mike. This is going to be a really fun episode of Coaster Radio because in the second half of the show, we are live from the parks.
Yes, back in the day, man, when you and I started talking about doing the show, that was the reason, I think, for
Yes.
doing the show, right? To actually get into the parks and do things when they open new rides. And
Get invited to the media day, get the free
yeah,
passes. Yeah,
that was that
absolutely.
was that was the whole point back in the day. Although there've been so many good things and reasons to do the show since then,
but
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 yeah.
but you are now in prime position, I feel like, because in the DC area where you're from,
Hmm.
where I'm from, where Coaster Radio was born, we've got Six Flags America closing down. We've
Right.
got Busch Gardens and King's Dominion celebrating
Yes.
their anniversaries. This is a big year, I feel like, for Coaster Radio. And we are in the park tonight on Coaster
Yes.
Radio.
Yes. You know what's really cool is that the day, I mean, it's kind of weird doing a show like this because a
Mm
podcast is obviously recorded.
hmm.
So
Mm
it's not a live show. So
hmm.
we're recording this first half of the show on one day, but on the day you will hear me in the second half of the show, it's actually, what is it? It's May 16th. That is Busch Gardens' 50th anniversary day. That's the day that the park opened back in 1975.
So you're pulling back the curtain here, Mike. It's a
Yeah.
time machine episode of Coaster
Yes.
Radio.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's a weird show because we could do it where we fake it like we're there the whole time,
No,
but like it,
listeners love the time machine
yeah,
episodes of
yeah.
Coaster Radio. So
Mhm.
yes, we will be going back in time, forward in time. I guess forward in time. We
Yeah.
record the show earlier in the week, but Mike is going to be going to Busch Gardens later in the week, and this is Big Bad Wolf coming back. Talk about a time machine,
Oh,
Mike. This
right,
is the
right.
past coming
Yeah.
into the future.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this.
Yeah.
You okay? I was gonna ask you a question about Big Bad Wolf. But we need to wait until you actually get on this thing, and we'll talk about it
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess next
wow.
week is when you
Second
can
half of
talk
the
to me
show.
live. Yes,
It's the
yes,
second half of the show. Mike,
yes.
we have to just start the first half of the show with our first drop. I'm so excited for the second half of the show. I don't even want to talk about the first half of the show, but
I
there's so
know.
much good news.
I know. It is cool because I like the opportunity to be at Busch Gardens on the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
Like you said, the Big Bad Wolf's The Wolf's Revenge premiering, and that's kind of a throwback
I don't
ride.
acknowledge the subtitle.
Yeah, The Wolf's Revenge. Yes, we'll ask about that.
I don't like titles that have a colon.
That's right, right? And so many rides these days have a colon part and then a little bit after that. So yeah, so we'll talk to him about that. But I have so many great questions to ask the people at Busch Gardens and just about the future and stuff. It should be great. So we'll get to that in the second half of the show. So there's a lot to look forward to, including audio of me on the ride itself,
Mm-hmm. Oh, your
which
favorite part.
it's honestly my least favorite part, man. I don't like a camera pointed at me when I'm riding a ride because there's no way not to look stupid. Like there's just no way. There's no way you look dumb. Like okay, so I did it for King's Dominion, and like immediately on our Facebook page, somebody's like, "Would you mind just shutting up?" Like, and
You're
so it's like,
dumb.
yeah, like, well, what do you want me to do? There's a camera in my face. You want me to just stand there and like look stoic, like,
Like,
yeah, like not making like it's a podcast. You have to speak. You have to make some noise. You have to talk about what's going on. Like, what do you want from me? So I hate doing that
I'm
just because,
going over a hill now, and I'm
yeah,
going down a hill now, and now another hill and a turn. There's
yeah.
a turn now. You're
I just,
narrating the entire experience.
I know.
But it's an audio podcast. What else are you
Yeah. So what
supposed to
else is
do?
exactly?
I
That's
mean,
the
that's what
thing.
it is.
Yeah. So I feel like I don't want to do it, but I feel like I have to do it for the show. So I will
You
do
should
it.
just yell,
I
just
know.
scream,
I kind of did that for
or do nothing,
or
and
do
just be like,
nothing.
I have no reaction here. This is
Yeah.
just mediocre.
It was fine.
I'm
It was fine.
disappointed.
It was fine. Yeah. Although I
Mhm.
like one guy,
I'm glad I snuck my phone on so I can just
yes.
watch TikTok while I'm on this
Yeah,
ride
right, right,
because I'm so bored.
right.
I just want to check my Instagram.
Yeah. But one good comment about the King's Dominion Raptera video that we posted is somebody said that while watching the video, they saw me return to childhood,
Aw,
be on the ride for 2 minutes as a child,
aw.
and then return to adulthood. So I thought that was pretty cool because that's what I did feel on that ride, and that's what,
Wow, back to like 13-year-old Mike riding
yeah,
Volcano.
exactly, right? That's what I think it's all about. So I like that somebody got what we were going for, and that was it. But then another guy said I should just shut up. So I don't
That's
know which
very
one to
good.
listen to.
All
But
right,
let's get into some first drop stuff, man.
let's actually do our first drop.
Yes,
Do you
let's
have
do
to
our
hit the
show.
sound effect again?
Yes.
First drop.
Exactly, exactly. So last week we were talking about the closure of Six Flags America, and it
Yep.
was I loved what you said, EB. It was one of those things that like was surprising, but not surprising at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. We kind of,
Yep.
talked about it for a long time. But Six Flags CEO Richard Zimmerman said recently that they don't have any plans to close additional parks at this time.
At this time.
Yes. But
Yeah,
he said they will continue to
of course.
evaluate all options and consider other potential transactions to enhance shareholder value.
Yeah, this is phase one. Mike,
Yes.
I think the most obvious park has bit the dust with Six
Right.
Flags America.
Yep.
I'm surprised because if I was to put a park at the top of the list of parks to close, Elitch Gardens
Yeah.
in Denver
Hmm.
would have been at the top of my list.
Yeah.
So I think, if I could go back and do a Coaster Damas prediction before the end of the calendar year, Elitch Gardens will be announced
Ooh. Yeah.
as closing next year.
Do you think someone will offer to buy it, or do you think they're just
No.
gonna close it and just
Oh
do
no,
do like a Six Flags America?
no, they're closing it, and for the same reasons as Six Flags America. It's valuable property, and they're going to
Yeah.
build housing. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of King's Dominion, we talked about them a minute ago. They were talking about some land
Mm-hmm.
that is owned by King's Dominion, but is
Yeah.
outside of the development boundary,
Yep.
that they would be selling that. And that to me is a little bit of a bummer because I always thought that land that they held might be something where they expand into like maybe more of a resort or something like that. King's Dominion, I know, is not like in the Cedar Fair Six Flags chain. It's not at the top. It's kind of like in the middle, I guess. But
Oh,
I
really?
felt
Okay.
I don't know. I kind of that's what they said though. I've always felt that it was one of the top parks in the chain.
Yeah.
But and I thought that with that extra land, they might build a hotel, they might do something else. It's a little bit of a bummer to me to hear that that land is being sold. Um, but yeah, but then I'm wondering, you know, the whole thing that he says there where they're going to continue to evaluate all options. That means that if somebody comes to them and says, "Hey, we want to buy this park," they're going to listen and at least entertain the offer. So I
Ooh.
wonder what parks out there,
Are you
might be
suggesting
ripe.
they would sell King's Dominion?
Not King's Dominion. I don't think so. I think King's Dominion is in a good spot for them, near
Yes.
DC, near Richmond.
No, competition for Busch Gardens. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think King's Dominion would go, but I'm wondering if any other parks in the chain might be ripe for to be picked off by somebody. I
I
don't
know.
know.
We talked about that plenty of times.
Yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
interesting though. So like at least at this point, I mean, we're not going to hear about another Six Flags park being sold off next week. So
No.
that's what's going on there.
At the end of the season, maybe.
Maybe, who knows?
That's what
Yeah.
I'm expecting.
Yeah. Staying with Six Flags at Carowinds, I like this idea, and it's something that we have not talked about yet. But Carowinds is opening something called the Carolina Harbor Shore Club.
Is this a quick hit?
This is a quick hit. Oh, whoa, shoot! I jumped
It's time
ahead.
for quick hits.
Quick hits.
I'm so tired. I'm like so exhausted getting ready for this show that I like completely jumped ahead. I'm so sorry.
What
And
is this Carolina Harbor Shore Club? I
And
don't even know what this
I
is.
jumped a quick hit, but that's all right. We'll go out of order.
No, this
here
is
because-
fine. This is fine. What is this?
Yes, so it is basically a part of their water park that is there, and so it's it's called the Carolina Harbor Water Park, but this area is a area of the water park that is designed for people 21 and over. It's called the Carolina Harbor Shore Club. And if you look at the renderings here, I mean, it's
Wait,
like
is this a new thing?
yeah, it's a brand new thing. So it's basically they've got a swim up bar where you can
Yes.
go up
Well,
there and I
what
suppose
else
get
would you have for 21
yes.
and up?
Yeah, right. So like, but like look at the rendering there. You see roller coasters off in the distance, but in the pool itself, they have umbrellas that stick out of the pool with areas where you can put your drink. So what a nice little area that you can like go and like hang out away from all of the teens and rowdy kids and stuff and go have yourself a nice cocktail and enjoy the water. And I like this idea very much.
I
Look at
don't
it.
know.
Oh, come on. That looks fun to
This
me.
exclusive section of the park is designed for those 21 and over, offering a sophisticated atmosphere away from the hustle and bustle of the main attractions.
Yeah.
Why am I going to the park if I don't want to have the hustle and bustle of the
I
attractions?
know, but that's a nice little
A
break area.
sophisticated. Is this is this White Lotus?
I don't
What's
know.
happening here?
And I guess Paul Meadows' dockside bar like comes up right up to it, and that's where you can swim up to. And I want to know who Paul Meadow is. Oh, Paul Meadow. I get it. That's so dumb. I thought it was a guy named
Paul
Paul
Meadow.
Yeah.
You were like, is this like a golfer that I'm not familiar with?
Well, I
No,
was
it's
thinking
actually
like
a
the
pun.
the first
No.
president of Carowinds. No, it's Paul Meadow. Okay, of course. Now I
Yeah,
get it.
okay.
Yeah.
And lawn games. Seriously, we're gonna have like bocce ball and giant Jenga.
Yeah. Well, I just like the idea of the swim up bar, man. That I could sit there. in the
That's all
water
you
and-
want to see. Yeah, the
and
swim
I
bar.
enjoy that. I like that idea. I would like to see that. I would like to see more adult only areas come to parks. And I know that the teens in our audience are going to be like, "Come on, man, what are you talking about?" But I'd like an area
Mm.
where it's not nuts. And I feel that like more and more the parks are
But
being run over by the
in-
teens.
In my experience, any of the adult only areas in a park, and I've only experienced this, I feel like in a couple of parks. Valley Fair comes to mind.
Yeah.
Kentucky Kingdom comes to mind, where there's a 21 and up bar.
Yeah.
Weird drunk adults gravitate towards
Oh,
those areas, Mike. I
agree
don't
with
think
you.
I'm
I
sorry.
agree.
I was just really thinking about this and like going back in my head, like in the times that I've experienced this. And oh, I want to go over there because it's a sophisticated place where I can, what do they call it? A sophisticated atmosphere away from the hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
And I'm not escaping the rowdy, stupid, annoying teens. And instead I'm encountering the rowdy, stupid, annoying
Yes.
40-year-old men.
You've got a point. You've got a point. In fact, I almost put this into the quick hits this week. Did you see the story from Epcot where there was some TikTok girl who was there with her friends and they got drunk at Epcot and
Oh no.
in front of the American Adventure Pavilion,
Okay.
they started singing the Star Spangled Banner and at the end one of the guys like dove into the fountain.
Buh.
And then the next thing you know, they're all being escorted out of the park. But like she put it on her TikTok and it's got millions of views. And I'm sure that was the point of the whole thing. But like
Mm-hmm.
the fact that they were like just drunk off their ass at Epcot, like, and you run into more and more of that at the parks that have alcohol. And so I'm with you. That's the downside of this. Like there's a fun side of this where you can have an adult only place and have some, nice cocktails.
If
But
it
then
was
there
actually sophisticated as they
right,
describe,
right,
I would
yes.
be okay with
Yeah.
it. But it is
Yeah.
not sophisticated. It's typically, Mike, do I want to say it? The white trash.
Yeah, okay, yes,
I
yes.
hate to be
No, I hear you.
horrible.
I hear you. I hear you.
And
I
there's
mean,
listeners right now. They're like, but I like that. What are you talking
yeah, I
about?
know. No, and I mean, I enjoy a cocktail too, but I never get to the point at the park where I'm like rowdy and, sloshy and falling over myself either.
Sloshy and
Yeah.
punching a guy in 4 feet of water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or diving into a fountain at Epcot. I've never done that either.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Okay.
yeah. All right. So I'm sorry, I completely goofed on the quick hits there. So I'll go to
No,
the
we got 2 Disney stories here. Let's do
Yeah,
these.
yeah. So we'll go to another one here. So Epic Universe opens what in just like a couple weeks here.
Uh-huh.
But the Disney Parks chief had something to say about Epic Universe. Josh Damaro, of course, is in charge of Disney Parks, and here was his quote. I found this interesting because he talked
Yes.
about it. Somebody said like, oh, are you worried about Epic Universe? And he said if something is built new in Central Florida, like
Mhm.
Epic Universe, and he was talking about something that draws new visitors to the region, that tourist is going to have to visit the Magic Kingdom. And I've got to say something.
Huh.
That quote right there, and
Yep.
this is not going to endear me to the Walt Disney Company or Disney
That's
fans, but
fine.
here's the thing. That quote right there is 100% what is wrong with the Disney resorts and Disney parks these days.
What an arrogant statement,
Yes, it is an
right? That
absolutely
anyone
arrogant
who
statement.
goes to
Yeah,
Central Florida has to go to Disney World.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah, this is Josh Damaro, chairman of Disney Experiences. Um, this is not a good look for them, I feel
No,
like.
no.
I really
And
don't because it feels like a challenge. Like now I just want to go to Central Florida and go to Orlando and not go to Disney to
yeah,
spite Josh tomorrow.
well, and maybe he didn't mean it like that, but it
He was
sure
trying to
sound.
be nice. I feel
Yeah,
like we have seen some social media posts and things like that from when Knott's Berry Farm and Disneyland in California, or when Universal opened way back in the day in Florida. The parks are nice to each other and they're
yeah.
trying to be like, oh, we're so happy that you're here and let's work together and blah blah blah. Everything's better. All ships arrive. Blah blah. This seems like that, but it is not correct, Josh Tomorrow.
Right. And this is the thing, like it seems to me these days, like my past visits to Disney, even Disneyland
Mm-hmm.
recently, did not live up to what I remember.
The Disney.
Like,
Well, we
10
just
years
talked
ago,
about the
15
Disney
years ago.
magic. You had some Disney magic this
Yes,
last
yes,
time.
absolutely, absolutely. But that was kind of brought on by a cast member and my
Uh-huh.
daughter. I'm talking about the
For you.
prices. I am
Mm-hmm.
talking about what you get for the amount of money you spend. I'm talking about the overall quality. There were great cast members, but there were also some duds, as I talked about too.
Oh.
That it's not like it was 20 years ago or so. And this guy, Josh Damaro, I think is kind of taking things on like, oh, it doesn't matter what we do. People will always come back to us. And it may be that way right now, Josh, but the competition is starting to come up with things that are better than what you were coming up with. And they're starting
Yes.
to have better quality in terms of attractions, in terms of experience, in terms of the way
Yep.
you feel at the parks.
Mm-hmm.
eh, they can't sit back and rest on what's been done before, man. And like the things that they are putting out there, they're just charging more and more for. Like, hey, you want to come to Epcot and see the fireworks show? Here's $189
Oh, to
to
sit in the
sit.
restaurant.
Yeah, to sit in the restaurant and watch it. Like, come on, man. Like, you've got to give some things back to the people. Like,
Well,
make people spend that much money. You've got to give them a really high quality experience for that.
something new, something different. This is our
Yeah.
next quick hit. The Abu Dhabi
Yes.
Disney resort. We now know that this is allegedly going to be an indoor park, the
That.
first ever indoor Disney park, the seventh park in the Disney chain. And who was it that said
Yeah.
this is
The
wild? It's going to be
CEO.
an yeah.
The CEO of Miral Group, Mohammed Abdallah Al Zahabi.
Yes, who's going to be building this thing because it is
Yeah.
not actually a Disney park. They're just licensing it out. But this company that's building it, they said now it's going to be an indoor park.
Yeah. Yeah. He goes, as you know, we have done all our theme parks indoor. So Disney will be an indoor theme park.
This is bonkers, right?
Yes. Yes.
How is this even? I mean, it's Abu Dhabi in the Middle East and Dubai and whatever, all that stuff. They do crazy, bizarro things,
Mm-hmm.
and this is just one of those crazy, bizarro things. We've been looking at the concept art last week on Coaster Radio. We were talking about the concept art and looking at it and speculating about what we were seeing. I don't think we had any idea this thing could be under a dome,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
what it's going to be.
Wow. And so I wonder, did did this guy just speak without without like the okay of Disney? Because like look at the concept art. That's not under a dome. That's
Nope,
not indoors.
nope.
So like did Disney come up with this concept art and say, "Hey, here's what we're going to build you." And this guy's like, "No, no, no. It's going to be in a dome." Yeah, like that.
It's very hot. It's the desert.
So I'm wondering.
I'm thinking cabana, but 500 acres. What do you think?
I'm wondering if they're not on the same page.
I have infinity money.
Yes.
Can we do this?
Who's
Well,
gonna
with
win that
infinity
fight,
money,
EB?
yes, we can do this with
Yes.
infinity money.
Who's gonna win that fight, EB? That's what
It's
I want
wild.
to know.
It's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be so much fun. And no, going back to Disney, and actual Disney, not the the company that's building this park, but actual Disney has no information, no press release, no discussion whatsoever about timeline. It's
right.
just been announced, so it's going to be a long time coming and a long time that we here at Costa Radio are going to be talking about this thing
Yeah.
and waiting and speculating and having so much fun just watching this develop. I feel like it's like Six Flags Kidya that we've been talking about for so friggin' long, and it's finally they're like testing the
Yes.
roller coaster
Yeah.
this week. Is it actually going to happen?
You know what, man?
We'll have to wait and see.
I was just about to say I
Yeah.
almost want to do a Coaster Thomas and say this will
Right,
not happen.
right.
Like this, this I just could see this being just an idea and it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. But
Whatever.
who knows? That's what I said about Kidya too. Six Flags Kidya too. So
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know, man.
Great.
All right, one last one, and I thank the good Lord above for this story. I'm so happy for this story, and you will find out in a moment. But look at this: for the first time ever, Cedar Point is going to feature stand-up comedy shows at their parks.
Why and where and how?
Yes,
Is it going to eat people? I guess so, because
I guess.
a long set from a comedian is going to get a lot of people into a theater or an amphitheater of some sort.
Yeah, yeah. Supposedly, this is going to be a show called Hoots and Hollers. It's going to
Ugh.
feature nationally touring comedians that you've seen on shows like America's Got Talent. It's going to be in the Palace Theater in Frontier Town. And it's supposedly suitable for ages 21 and older, EB. So another event. 9
Oh.
p.m. performances, ages 21 and up. So it could be some good comedy.
I'm okay with this. I think this is really fun. If you go to a comedy club, it's expensive. You got to like a 2-drink minimum. It's late at night. You don't know what you're going to get, but at a park, this is a great opportunity to
Yeah.
cool off and have some laughs. This is like going to a magic show or any other sort of
Right,
indoor
right.
theater show.
Yeah.
I like this. I think this is great.
I am thinking if our friend Tony Clark or any of our friends at Cedar Point are listening, we have a comic for you. And wait,
Mhm.
this is not the joke yet. The joke is coming, but
Ah.
this is a real thing. What about our friend Joe Uke, who is trying to ride 100
Oh,
roller
yes.
coasters? Invite him to Cedar Point. Let him ride all your roller coasters so he gets closer to 100. but then he'll do a comedy show for you in the Palace Theater.
Recent guest of Coaster Radio. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Joe
a good
could do
idea.
like a whole set up there and make it like theme park related and stuff. It could be fun.
Does it have to be theme park related? I don't
No,
know.
it doesn't. But yeah, just but I'd like to. I would go up and see Joe perform. That'd be fun. So
Totally, be awesome.
maybe we need to let Joe know. Like he should contact them and say, like, hey, I'd love to come and do a show because
Throw his name in the hat.
Yeah, if you're gonna have a comedian perform at Cedar Point, it might as well be one who likes theme parks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But of course, I mean, come on, man. If you're gonna have a comedy show at a theme park, coasterradio.com knows the theme park comic who should be there. And then we could do the door opening and the music.
Great.
Yep. And I don't. Do you want to just go into the set, or do you want to be like, hey?
Yeah, I guess he does.
I've got a couple of good jokes for you, and then I'll,
Yeah. Hey, Mike, it's me, Lightning Rodney. What's up? How's it going?
Lightning Rodney, long time no see. How are you, sir?
Oh, I get no respect, I tell you. Down at Dollywood, the lightning rod, it's not the same as it was. You know what I'm saying?
I know. It's had a lot of changes, just like you, Lightning Rodney. And I don't know. Are you ready? Would you be up for going to Cedar Point? Do you have
I could totally do that. No problem. I got a lot of jokes here about the theme parks. My wife, for example, she waited in line for 2 hours just to ride a roller coaster that lasted 30 seconds. She told me it was just like our wedding night.
Oh, Lightning Rodney, that was a good one. You should tell that on stage. Do you have more? Do you have more jokes?
Look, I got a ride that spins around so fast it pins you to the wall. It's the most action I've had in years. Oh, it was so fast my Fitbit called 911.
Oh, Rodney, that's a good
An automatic dysfunction of my wristwatch. I went on the tunnel of love. Mike, let me tell you, no respect. I went on the tunnel of alone. Halfway through, the boat stopped. The ride lost interest in me.
Oh, that's so sad. Lightning Rodney, I can't believe it.
I told a girl I was brave enough to go through the haunted house. She said, I've seen your internet search history. You're the real horror. Not the ride, Mike. It was me.
Lightning Rodney, I like these jokes. They're all theme park centric.
I went to the amusement park and I rode a ride called the Screamer. I thought it was a roller coaster, but it turned out it was just my ex-wife in the parking lot yelling at me.
The Screamer. She was
Screams at me, Mike. No respect. No respect.
You got
I asked a fortune teller. I asked I put my quarter in. Would I ever find love? And it looked at me and said, "You got strong wrists. You'll be fine." Love.
Lightning Rodney, that was your best
Rodney
joke tonight.
Style.
That was your best one tonight. I like that one. All right, that made
Well,
me
like,
laugh.
you're talking about Cedar Point, but Mike, Cedar Point. After Cedar Point, I went up to Michigan's Adventure and I bought a fast lane to pass, skip all the lines. All it did was speed up my disappointment.
I've been to Michigan's Adventure too.
Hey.
All right, Lightning Rodney, thank you so much. We'll see you up at Cedar Point. And there he goes. I could see Lightning Rodney like setting the world on fire at Cedar Point. Tony
great.
Clark hired that
Good.
guy. Yes. Lightning Rodney. There he is. I like that. So many good jokes. So many good jokes.
Great jokes. Thank you, ChatGPT.
Yes.
All right, Mike, let's move on here. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We are going to be live from the parks. This is going to be so much fun. Mike at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, at the Big Bad Wolf, the Wolf's Revenge. Mike, are we just like going to pretend that we're going to like hit the flux capacitor, have the lightning bolt hit us, and then we're like in the future after the break? Is that how it works?
No, there's so many ways we can do this, but I think what we're gonna do is just hear the break, and when we come back, magically,
I'll be like Doc Brown,
yes,
hanging off of the cable, putting the connectors together, and then you're gonna be like Marty, taking way too long to get 88 miles an hour.
That's right. How long did Marty take? It took him
like a block and a half.
Yeah,
it took him 6 minutes.
Yeah, driving down the road.
All right, here we go.
Yes.
All right.
We'll be right back.
This is Coaster Radio.
All right, and all we need to do now is just you picking up like
yeah, great.
Thanks, Mike, and the end of the show, and that's it.
Great.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Mike. There he was. That was the time machine, Mike, in the future. This is EB here back in the past. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Coaster Radio. Thank you so much for supporting the show week after week. Go to coasterradio.com to find out all the ways to support the show. We've got referral links, we've got the t-shirt shop, but the most important way that you can support the show is by going to patreon.com/coasterradio. Let's say thanks to everybody who supports the show at the $20 level. There's perks, there's bonus content at every pledge level, $1, $5, $10, $20. We say your name on the show. Alex Payne, Ashton Rowe, Brian Wackler, Chris Rankin, Cincinnati Nick, the sweatshirt guy, our friends at Club Z, two bearded coaster Chris's, CM Venom, Colton Toms, Dino, Grace, John Brody, John Brown, Josh Combs, Justin Padilla, Karen and Lee Howren, Kevin Wilson, Kyle Kiefer, our friends at Made to Thrill, Matt Walker, Michael Foucault, Paolo de los Reyes, Rich Barber, Rick Burnley, Tom from Louisville, and Zachary Carpenter, plus an extra special thanks to Lindner Design Companies, specializing in branding, illustration, and small batch custom apparel. You can find them on Instagram at Lindner Design. Made that new coasterradio.com 20th anniversary logo. And you can get all sorts of cool apparel and coasterradio.com merch at coasterradio.com. Scroll down, find that t-shirt shop. For Mike, I'm EB, and we will talk to you again next week.
Excellent. All right.
I didn't
That's all we needed. We
tease
are
anything
done.
else, but okay. Cool.
Oh, do you
Great.
want to add something?
No, it's good.
You sure?
Did we need to tease anything for next week?
Probably
That's
all right.
fine.
I can do it. I can do it from Busch Gardens too,
Oh, good.
because I'll probably
Okay, yeah.
need like some stuff to like talk about in between interviews.
Great.
So that should work.
All right.
All right, cool. So thanks to everybody who's watching. This is a short live look in tonight because most of the show is going to be done at Busch Gardens, but we will see you back here next week. Thanks for coming by. We'll see you here 9 o'clock next week.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody.